Let's do a trip to Berlin.
Dr. Christoph Tornau meets up with René Kästner, a big player in the business as an author, producer, blogger, sponsorship expert and street artist. René's agency has produced well-known TV documentaries, and his team supports brands in the field of online and social media marketing. He's the founder of I Love Graffiti.de, which started as a blog in 2008 and has developed into a strong medium in Europe, with more than 10,000 visitors daily and over 400,000 followers on Facebook. The Blogger Collective is all about graffiti, urban art and photography, and René is globally well connected with top artists and brands. Christoph walks with René through Berlin's wedding district to get insights into the German capital's graffiti scene.
René, nice to meet you again. How are you today?
Great.
Yeah, I mean the weather is, I would say, average. How long do we know each other?
For a long time. I think the very first time I met you was for giving an interview about Razor.
Oh yeah, I remember. It must have been like 7-8 years ago.
Yes, yes.
And then you were in Hamburg and it was for I Love Graffiti.de.
Yes.
And last year we did a podcast. There you interviewed me.
Exactly.
And now I'm trying to return the favor.
You know I like to talk.
Yes, I know. But now you're not the one who's asking the questions, you're going to be asked. Mm-hmm. So probably you talk about yourself. How did you get into the business?
Well, that's actually a long time ago. It's 20 plus years ago.
Okay.
When I decided to. I think you as a writer, and you are a writer,
yes,
right?
I used to be.
You remember, you used to be. You remember the time when there were only a few magazines covering the whole movement, etc.
I know.
And I was always a little bit upset and disappointed about how much is left and not documented. You know?
That's correct.
So especially the area I come from, which is Saxony, it's a state in Germany, which was not covered at all.
Okay.
So I decided to do a book about the movement in my area.
Yes.
To show the world, or to at least show Germany, what's going on in our area. So that's how it all started. I just wanted to cover things that was not discovered.
Okay, but then, like the motto, if nobody else is doing it, I'm going to do it by myself.
Exactly. I think this is also the motive or the reason behind many people doing this.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
But you, as I remember, were one of the first who used the internet on another scale. So when did you start your homepage, I Love Graffiti.de?
I think this was right after mc.com.
Yes.
Went more or less offline.
Okay.
Welcome to Berlin. Let's go to my favorite bridge here in Berlin.
Yeah, I think we were talking about I Love Graffiti.de, and you created it right after MZ went down, or did they completely shut down, or they just stopped working as hard as they did?
I think it was a few things that made it very small at the end of the day, because of the social media, MySpace.com and Facebook, that came all more or less at the same time.
Yes.
And this somehow changed the game, you know?
When did you start delivering your own content, like in a form of like video series, or where you contributed videos?
This started with I Love Graffiti.
Yes, from the beginning?
I started I Love Graffiti.de in 2008.
Okay.
And before I did 2 graffiti DVDs.
Okay.
This was a big trend back then.
Yes, I know, but I cannot remember the DVDs.
Yeah,
what were the names?
Can't Stop Fanatics.
Sure, I know the names.
Yeah. So, and after they were sold out pretty fast, we decided to release parts of it online. So the very first 5 minutes is a part of Can't Stop Fanatics 2.
But then you couldn't stream it back then? You had to download it?
No, we could stream it on Vimeo and YouTube already. And Facebook.
And it was for free, the content?
It was for free then. For 6 episodes, and then something happened, which we never expect, you know? this guy from Arte. His name is Alain Bieber. He's now working for the NRW Forum in Düsseldorf, which is a very renowned museum space.
Yes.
And he used to work for Arte, and his job was to build a social platform within the Arte online world, which is called Arte Creative.
Okay.
So and therefore he contacted a lot of platforms, street art, graffiti, pop art, etc. pp. And we were one of them.
Okay.
So he asked, could you imagine that Arte is hosting the whole thing, and we talk about the content, and we give you a bit of budget, and you can do it better than, etc. pp. You know. So
it was
a
like
very lucky move.
Yes, but you were working on something without any expectations, and all of a sudden somebody came and said, I appreciate your work and I want to bring it on another professional level.
Exactly.
The same dream that we have. So, René, you also did some graffiti festivals?
Yes, that's actually how it started after the book.
Yes.
I had the idea to, the Battle of the Year and all these hip-hop disciplines, which had its own championships, like ITF, etc. And we thought we were going to do like the same for graffiti.
Cool.
That was the idea. So we founded a format, or we developed a format where we can travel worldwide.
Yeah.
And from 2003 to 2011, we did 150 events.
150?
Yeah.
That's a whole lot. And how far did you get when you wanted to travel the world?
Every year in Moscow, for example.
Wow, I never been there.
Yeah. We brought a part of graffiti, I think, we brought to Moscow.
Really?
With the format, yeah.
So now you cannot travel to Russia anymore?
No, it's more like showing the kids, and it was pretty young back then,
Yes.
you know? The whole movement was like not really existing there. There were a few riders, and a lot of young kids starting off with graffiti. And we brought like a German format with a lot of spray paint, etc. pp. to such a young movement.
And have you been sponsored back then by companies?
Yeah, of course, you had some money from sponsors, you had some spray paint sponsors.
So you were always like smart that you could build up contacts with the industry.
We tried.
Yeah, but still.
We also lost a lot of money. You know, I know you know how it works. It's like you have an idea, you have a vision.
Yes.
And in the first it's not really about money. It's about realizing and following your vision, you know. So you lose money, for sure.
So losing money is never funny, but when you're looking back, it was worth it.
It was worth it for sure. It was a key project.
Yeah.
You know, I think I had like 2 or 3 key projects that actually made my business.
Okay.
And my business is built off those projects. And I Love Graffiti.de is one of those projects.
Was there any situation where you doubted yourself and your business, when you thought, now, yes?
It's still like, because it's a lot of work still, you know.
But isn't it always a lot of work?
Yeah.
But I mean, as I have met you, I have no doubts, because I think I know your personality, and I think you're not ever slacking. I mean, is it that you are having longer periods where you're not working?
No.
So you're basically working all the time?
Always.
And if you are keeping the good work going, then what shall happen?
I mean, I come from a 9-to-5 job, you know.
Yes.
When I had my 9-to-5 job in the 90s, and I know how it is, you know. And I always was like, I never want to end up in a 9-to-5 job, blah blah blah. So that's why I'm still being self-taught.
Yes, you don't want to have the security from a 9-to-5 job. You are more the risk taker, and
no.
Okay.
It comes with the vision, you know.
Okay.
If you want to realize your vision, of course you have to take some risk.
Yes.
I don't like to take risk.
Okay, but you have to.
But I took it.
Okay.
You know?
And I've heard that you are working on a new project, so you're taking another risk right now?
No, I think now, 21 years later, we are with my whole company. We are in a situation where we can take risk more easily.
Okay.
You know, and we can also do things that we probably doesn't really take that much money, but still the vision that we have is the most important thing, you know.
And do you have partners or just employees?
employees.
Okay,
I have
so-
employees, and I always have also partners.
Yeah, but the company is yours.
My
This
company
was
is
the
yours.
question.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my company.
Yes.
And I have partners like, for example, we have a Dresden agency. It's a regular
Yeah.
marketing agency who consult us in business things.
Okay, but you also travel a lot. How many
Yeah.
days a year are you out of your home?
Without Corona,
Yes.
150 days,
Okay.
160 days a year.
Yes. And do you think that this situation right now will have an impact on this lifestyle? Do you think it will change then, or do you think that you might continue as you did before?
Yeah. I
Yes?
think it will not. There's no change in terms of how we work in progress on our projects.
Okay.
You know, this will not change.
Yeah, I see it the same.
Yeah.
And I think you have to be optimistic. I mean, it's a couple of months and then things are recovering again.
I mean, we have a lot of customers, clients, friends who
Yeah.
are in the music business, with the festivals,
Okay.
the splash festivals, also from Chemnitz, for example.
Yes, I know. I went
And
there
they
a
are
couple of
fucked,
times.
for sure. You know, this is a
Okay.
completely a whole different thing.
Yeah,
If you ask them the question, if they can work the same way as they did before, they will say no.
Yeah.
Because the whole society is changing now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But for us, doing
Yes.
this, no.
I mean, probably on the long run it will be even better because you produce something that can be consumed on the smartphone, on the sofa, in the train. You know, it's like without meeting people. Even if like in the heads, it will continue to stick for another 3, 4, 5 years. Probably it even helps your business.
Sure.
Yeah.
Digital content is king.
Yes, and I mean, you, in my eyes, are one of the pioneers. But when you started working in the digital world, did you have anybody who could tell you how it works, or are you self-taught completely?
Completely. It's
Okay.
learning by doing.
So you just secured like the homepage and then you had it built, or did you build it even by yourself? Do you have like programming skills?
No.
Okay, but
I have
you
a
had
friend who
somebody-
did the website, you know.
Is it the same
It
one
started with
from
Blogspot.
the beginning?
You remember blogspot.com?
Yes.
This was a provider that offered you to do a
Yeah.
blog on their
Yeah.
platform, and it's called ilovegraffiti.blogspot.com.
Ah, okay, I
This
don't
was the
remember
very
this.
first. So I needed no skills
Yes.
for that.
Yeah.
And after 3 years, I asked a friend to
Yes.
build a website for us because it was too big, you know.
And did the website had to migrate since then?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so
I mean,
bigger servers?
it changed from a blog
Yes.
to a news bench.
Yeah.
So that means it's not only 20 entries a month; it's 200 entries a month.
It's 200 already.
Yeah, and in the peak in 2013 or 14, we had like 15 to 20,000 visitors a day.
Wow.
You know,
so you
so-
have a huge reach.
Yeah, so we needed servers, etc.
Yeah.
We bought our own server.
Okay. Probably I sound naive, but I mean, when you're just a viewer, then you don't have a clue about these numbers. And I'm really thankful that I seem to be asking the right questions, because you're giving us informations that I think are very interesting. And like, do you see that the platform is continuously growing? What are your thoughts for the future?
The platform itself, the
Yeah.
blog, the news bench is not growing because a big part of the cake is taken by the social media
Yeah.
now, you know. So
Okay.
people don't really see the reason in visiting a blog every
Yes.
day, because Instagram gives you everything you need.
Yeah.
So what we are doing at the moment is we take the time, we go with the time,
Yes.
and we build up new formats that
Yeah.
relates to social media. It means a podcast, for example.
Yes.
You know, we have new video formats that we can play out
Yeah.
on Instagram, for example. You know, so we cooperate more with art in terms of telling stories. It's not just 5 minutes, having this little thing, 5 minutes,
Yes.
and then it's over. It's a whole story that we're gonna try to tell.
Okay,
you know?
but explain to us 5 minutes. It sounds like as it has to be 5 minutes, but actually it doesn't.
It started in 5 minutes.
Yes.
But there are a few episodes that are 14 minutes. Yeah.
But, and this is a question I wanted to ask today, because we are also working on a format. What is the emphasis in your format? Is it the pictures or is it the talk?
It's both.
Okay, and if you,
And when you browse the episodes, you can see that.
Okay,
You know?
yeah, I have seen that because I have to know, because then we do it differently, that we don't like step on our toes.
Yeah.
No,
I
but
mean-
it was I was only making a joke. I see our format basically that we talk, have like some kind of interview.
Can I just stop you? You can see that?
Ah, that's good.
I actually like the bridge because you can spot the trains running
Okay.
here on this side and on this side. It's not about doing photos, it's more about you can see what is running.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is very interesting for me.
But I've seen that the other side seems to be interesting
It's
too.
more interesting.
Shall we go?
Let's change, yeah.
In our project, we have the main focus, or one of the main focuses, on this interview situation. How is it with your format or formats?
It's more or less the same. As you said,
Okay.
5 minutes is this and that. You know, you have like the regular format where you just see people painting graffiti.
Yes.
But you also would like to listen to
Yes.
the people. So, and this is actually a point which makes it really difficult for us and probably for you too, is because artists in general,
Yes.
it's really hard for them to reflect themselves.
Yes, you're
So-
right.
And this is a job for itself, to take the
Definitely.
right statements and
Yes.
to ask them to reflect themselves and look inside themselves, you know?
And when you're speaking about artists, how far are you into the graffiti scene, and how far in this transfer into fine arts?
There's a bridge between that, I think.
Yes.
If there is no bridge, it's not interesting for me.
Sure.
If a graffiti artist has no roots in the movement,
Yes.
it's probably a good artist, but it's not interesting for me.
Yes.
So that's why,
But for example, if there is a good artist and he or she doesn't have anything to do with graffiti, is it something for your format?
it's not for our format.
Okay,
You
so
know, our format
graffiti
is based on
is
graffiti.
a big part of the DNA. And what is your recent project? I've heard that it's the biggest so far.
5 minutes was just the opener to a project that that we are doing or running at the moment, filming at
Yes.
the moment. We started with the project in 2017, and I always had the idea to cover the whole European graffiti movement by a documentary series.
Ah, okay.
How it came from New York
Yes.
first. This is the main story in the first episodes, and then also how it arrived in Europe,
Yes,
in
I
Amsterdam, in
understand.
London, in Paris, in Munich, in Copenhagen. So what we are doing at the moment is we're running the series in seasons.
Yes.
There was one season in 2017, 18, and 19. So we filmed 3 seasons and are now filming the 4th season.
And what is the future bringing?
And build up on this project.
Yeah.
Which is always, you can see, there's always a door opener to something else.
Okay.
You know, this is how my business is actually
Yes.
running. You do something and build on this. There's a new project coming up. You know.
Yes.
And the current project is more or less the same than the Rise of Graffiti, but it's not about graffiti. It's about rap.
Ah, okay.
It's about how rap arrived in Germany.
Okay, so still music is a very important topic.
Actually, for the first time. For me, as a film production, this is
Okay.
the first time we are working on such a story.
Interesting. And what about, for example, breakdance? Is it something that you're working on?
There's also a bridge again, you know?
Ah, okay.
Because without breakdance, there would probably no German rap. You know?
Okay. So maybe this is when you want to compare it. I think comparison is always difficult, but now I see much more that you're basically into graffiti and we're more into contemporary art that has its roots in graffiti, if you want to find difference. But still, I think we can all coexist, and I'm wishing you all the best for the
Thank you.
future.
Good luck for the format.
Yeah, we will see if we hear in a year or two. I mean, you're a veteran, and I have to give you heads up that you've been so successful within the years, but as you told me, without failure, you will not survive.
Definitely.
Or without the acceptance of failure.
It's always about the vision. If you have a
Yes.
vision, the
Maybe it's
vision is
not
good.
the direct line.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know.
You
I
run a
know.
gallery.
Yes, I know the ups and downs, and I'm still here, also with an interruption, but in total it's 11 years, and I'm optimistic about the future. I won't give up.
We too, we too.
Cool.
Graffiti for sure.
Yes.
The same. It will
Thank
exist
you.
anyways if Corona
It
is
was
there or not.
beautiful.
Thank you. Peace.